Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Storytime with Mrs. Arnold. This is the next Little Red Riding Hood book that we are going to read. And this one is a little bit different version, so most people have not heard this version. This one is called Honestly, Red Riding Hood Was Rotten. The story of Little Red Riding Hood as told by the wolf. So this is the wolf's version of what happened in the story, and it was written by Tricia Speed Shashkin and illustrated by Gerald Guerlis. So let's go ahead and begin. Chomp, chomp. Oh, I'm sorry, I was just finishing my lunch. My name's Wolf, Big Bad Wolf. You may have heard the story of Little Red Riding Hood about a girl and her granny. Seems everyone has. My tale is different. Did I say tail? I meant tail. There's two different types of tails, like a tail that a dog has or a wolf, and then a tail like a story. So he was trying to crack a joke there. Once upon a time, I ran out of food completely. The cupboards were bare, the freezer too, and I'd eaten every last vegetable and fruit in the garden. Every one. Other wolves might have lunched on little forest critters, chipmunks, bunnies, squirrels, but I'm a vegetarian. That's right, I don't eat meat. Well, I try not to. I love apples, Honey Crisp, Pink Lady, Golden Delicious, any kind really. But sadly, it was a long time until apple harvest. I hadn't eaten in weeks. My stomach growled and howled. It moaned and groaned. It even roared. Then my nose took over. I took a whiff. What was it? A girl. I took a whiff. What was it? Cake. Butter. In this forest? I had to investigate. And there she was, Little Red Riding Hood. She looked as plump and juicy as a big, sweet apple. Little Red waved her cape. Isn't it pretty? She said. Yeah, I said. Aren't I pretty? She said. Was she admiring herself in that puddle? See how there's a puddle on the ground? With this cape, she said, I'm even prettier than usual. Boy, someone sure was full of herself. And my stomach growled. Little Red twirled a strand of hair. Mother says the cape looks grand with my skin. My skin shines like pearls. Or the meat of a ripe apple, I thought, licking my chops. Remember, I hadn't eaten in weeks. Time to chomp. But then Little Red said, I can't wait until Granny sees how pretty I am today. I'm bringing her cake and butter from my mother. My stomach growled. 2 meals, I thought. Granny for breakfast, Little Red for lunch, and cake and butter for dessert. Where does Granny live? I asked. Little Red pointed. Down there in the clearing, the brown house. I knew that house, and I had a plan. Let's play a game, I said. Little Red smiled. I'm awesome at games. I bet you are, I said. You take this path, I'll take that path, and let's see who arrives at Granny's first. I will, she said. I'm the prettiest and the fastest. I bet you are, I said. My stomach moaned. Before it groaned, I ran. No one knows the forest like I do. I chose the shorter path. I took a whiff. What was it? Apple air freshener? Knock, knock. I knocked on the door. Who's there? Called out a voice. Your granddaughter, I squeaked. I've brought you a cake and butter from Mother. Doors open, Granny said. Granny tugged at her nightcap. Green, she said. It's Isn't it pretty? Pretty like a Granny Smith apple, I thought. Aren't I pretty? Granny asked, or Granny said. You must have heard the saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Well, it's true. My stomach roared. What's that noise? Granny asked. Chomp, chomp. I had to eat her. She was no Macintosh apple, but not too bad. I still felt hungry. Knock, knock. Little Red knocked on the door. Who's there? I called out, crawling into Granny's bed. Your granddaughter, Little Red said. I've brought you cake and butter from Mother. Doors open, I said. Little Red walked in and caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror. Isn't my cape pretty, Granny? She said. Aren't I pretty? I clenched my teeth. Granny, Little Red said, what deep dark eyes I have. Mm-hmm, I said, the color of apple seeds. Granny, she said, what perfect ears I have. Mm-hmm, I said, shaped like sharply cut apple slices. Granny, she said, what pretty red lips I have. Mm-hmm, I said, red delicious. Granny, she said, what lovely skin I have. Chomp, chomp. I ate her up. What can I say? Things look different when you're hungry. She was no Fuji or Crispin apple. In fact, to be honest, she was a bit rotten. But she was better than nothing. Plus, I got dessert. The end. So, I hope you enjoyed our story today. Do you want to come say hi? Get up. With Abby and I. She just came in. She's been napping this morning. But we read Little Red Riding Hood, but a different version, a version told by the wolf. Yes, a version told by the wolf. You missed it, Abs. And it says, honestly, Red Riding Hood was rotten. Now, he thought she was rotten because she thought so highly of herself all the time. She didn't really think of others. She didn't even notice that the wolf was dressed up as Granny this time because she was paying so much attention to her. So that's why he thinks she's rotten. I hope you enjoyed this version of the Little Red Riding Hood. And today, your writing prompt is to, where to go? I want your writing prompt to be, I want you to tell me whether you believe the wolf or not. So today in your writing, I want you to write whether you think he's telling the truth or she's telling the truth, which obviously she's a different character than our original one, but whose side of the story do you think is correct? Is it the big bad wolf? Or do you think the original version that we've all heard a million times is more correct? Which one do you think? So I want you to write about that, but I don't want you to just tell me I think the wolf was right. I want you to tell me why you think he's right or why you think Little Red was right. So tell me which one you think is correct and why you think it is correct, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.